Welcome to the Extraordinary Executives Podcast, where business owners like you share their experiences, insight, and lessons learned. So grab your cup of coffee or tea and get ready for an engaging conversation. Here's your host, Randy Jones.
Hey, welcome everybody to another Extraordinary Executives episode. Today we got a great guest, a special person out here in the world making a difference, not just in his lives, but the people that he comes in contact with. Today we've got a great executive, Mr. Corey Malnikoff of Palmercare. Hey, welcome, Corey. I'll let us get started because I'm sure everybody wants to hear more of you than they want to hear about me. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Randy. Well, heard good things. Excited to be here, so hit me.
Cool, man. So tell me about Palmercare, man, or better yet, you got an interesting story. Tell me why you started Palmercare among all the other things you do.
Sure. Well, man, I got into chiropractic. I'm guessing you saw my story. I got into chiropractic because I was a 4-year-old kid growing up in Buffalo, New York with pretty bad asthma. I wasn't allowed outside if it snowed, if it was hot. And in Buffalo, New York, that meant always. So, last resort, my parents took me to the local witch doctor, which was the chiro. A couple weeks of adjustments. And from what I was told, my asthma spontaneously disappeared. I got to experience chiropractic kind of throughout my life. I got to play high school sports and college football. And, as you play sports, you get injured, you're out. Chiropractors were the ones that kind of kept me on the field, kept me fixed up. And so, when it came time for me to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, it just seemed like a good fit. Lucky for me, it felt like a good fit. And then I went to Palmer College, and all I can say is it was kind of an instant, wow, this is perfect. This is perfect. Wow. That was my original. When I first got into chiro, it was about me being a chiropractor, helping as many people as I can, spreading chiropractic. Obviously from the things you've seen online, I've done a little more since.
Yeah. I think it's incredible. So this one part of your life is just like, I would say, like a slice of the pie. So tell me, Palmercare, are you guys just like any other chiropractic, practice out there, or, what makes you guys unique, and what do you do on a day-to-day basis in the company?
Yeah, a lot has changed since I started practicing. I started in 2005. To give you a very long story, kind of short. I went to build the practice because I thought I was, God's gift. I quickly learned my head was much bigger than my knowledge base. And building a business was just, much different than I thought. Not going into details, right? But literally got to the point in those first few months that I went to buy a $4 sandwich, didn't have $4 left to my name. And so I had to learn how to open a business, run a business. And so, I quickly started studying things like Amazon and Nordstrom's and Starbucks and Ritz and Disney and all the places that run a business. And I was able to boost our practice up pretty quick. That another doctor kind of saw and said, hey, you're boosting your practice so fast. If I bought a second office, would you, go help me boost that up? And I did that, and 2 turned into 4, and 4 turned into 8, and 8 turned into 10, and 10 turned into 20, which I'm happy to chat about. But, going back to your question, I think that the reason that we do so well is because of, how much I've had to learn along the ways. I've had to learn all of this business development, and I've had to learn all of this personal development. And so I found that, as I grow me, and I grow my knowledge, and I grow who I am, and I grow my self-esteem, my self-belief, my self-confidence, that I'm able to grow the practice. And so we spend half our time training our team, our doctors, our staff, on personal development and becoming the best them that they can be. And the other half on the skills they need for their job. So, what I think makes Palmercare different is that the people that are in our company, the energy they're giving out, the focus they're giving out, the environments they're creating, the culture that we have set, we've created this place that people just love to work at. Our clinics are not just somewhere you go if you're hurting or you need health. Our clinics are built so that if your stress level is high, you come to our clinics and we help lower your stress. And if your energy is low and you step into our clinic, we help to raise your energy. I always loved that Starbucks said that they were a third home. You got your work home, you got your home, and then Starbucks is the third home. And I was like, well, if Starbucks is a third home, then a wellness clinic should take over. And so I wanted our clinics to be this third home where you went and you knew you were going to be refilled and revitalized. And I just think that the culture that our team produces in the clinics, when you walk into those clinics, not only makes you want to go, but makes you want to bring your friends, your family, your coworkers. And I think we quickly become the talk of a town.
You know what? I think that's really interesting, just the way that you express it. You know, sometimes you can tell when a person's just sort of like regurgitating an answer they've said all the time, but, you know, or they're really truly speaking from their heart. I would often tell my kids, you know, leadership is not a position, it's an action. And it looks like you are truly a leader. And they say a leader is more of a servant. And the fact that you spend more, you're not even talking about the technical part. You're talking about what made the company sort of like a family. You know, when I first started my company, it was a mess probably for the first 10 years. And they said, I thought I was a great business development person and I thought I was a people person, but I learned the hard way that, you know, people aren't motivated just by money and things. You got to inspire them. And it sounds like you guys, you're doing that with your people on a daily basis. Saying that in the very beginning, you said you went sort of like from riches to rags and then back, so to speak.
Yeah.
How have you learned in order to, you know, create multiple offices? What is essential in building your team internally as well as externally?
Yeah, I mean, good question. You know, a couple fold. The first thing, you know, I will say is when I was doing very poorly, I was really pointing at the people around me. You know, my staff isn't doing this and my staff isn't doing that. And my doctor's not doing this. And one of the biggest changes that happened to me was lucky enough, I had some really great mentors that I was able to stop and say, you know, man, it's you, not them. When you start to realize that everyone around you is a reflection of you, your staff, your workers, and everyone, it's just a reflection of you. So if they're not doing something you like, if they're not acting the way you like, if they're not creating like you'd like, then you're not either. It's you. And so when I started looking in the mirror and saying, okay, all the results that are happening around me are due to me, I started to realize that I had to fully be, you know, fully immersed into the personal development so that I'm always working on where my headspace is, where my visions are, where my affirmations are, where my, you know, self-talk is. And so when I bring people into our company, first and foremost, I'm always looking at, hey, listen, in our world, we do affirmations, visualizations, goal setting, and I'm going to push you to levels that you've never been at. If you're in for that, then this is the place for you. But if you're not, you're looking to, you know, work at just a job that you like, it's just not the right place. And so it makes our process of hiring one that I don't know that many companies do, because it's a process. I mean, our team is we train so much. You know, we have, I don't know, 150 employees, and everyone's on a Zoom call every Monday to train for half an hour. Everyone gets together for 3 hours once a month to train together. We travel once a year to like Vegas to go to seminars together. In a couple of weeks here, I'm taking, you know, 150 people to a cabin to spend 3 days on personal development and goal setting. So when it comes to growth, you know, for me, it's all about helping everyone on my team grow to their biggest potential, because I truly believe as people grow, so does the company. The company growth is just the effect. You know, it's like, I don't start with that in mind. I start with the people in mind, and it just follows.
Wow. So now I hear a lot of companies, you hear about, you know, traction and all these books, Good to Great and things like that, you know, and building a company culture. And oftentimes when I talk with companies, a lot of times they say, we've got a great culture, we've got a great vision statement, mission statement, and it only exists on the wall, so to speak. How do you, and I've even experienced in companies that I've worked with in the past, where they say, hey, we believe in this culture and this, you know, this feeling, but we measure based on the numbers. But it sounds like you've aligned truly what you believe in and how you train and grow people. How have, you know, has that been hard for you to develop sort of like a, I want to say a measurement, but it's like an evaluation that's really built on a culture versus just the numbers and how many patients and stuff you have?
For me personally, the hard part of that is, you know, as you grow, like when we were 5 clinics, it was my hands on everyone.
Right.
And then when we hit 10 clinics, it was a different business. And it was, now I had to have extensions of me. And so my COO and my CFO had to be, you know, sharing what I was sharing. And now, you know, over 20 clinics, it's a new ball game. We're actually, you know, even working now on, literally just came from a meeting on redeveloping our onboarding process, which is funny, but we're always looking at it. I mean, we've implemented coaches, HR coaches that are part of the onboarding process to make sure that everybody goes through all of the self-help stuff that everyone's done so that no one's behind. I mean, we literally at our monthly meetings take the first 25 minutes and then all the new hires come up front and they share their goals, their affirmations, their visualizations. I'd love to say, when I was 5 clinics, Randy, I would say 100% of everybody was in all the time. And if somebody wasn't in, it stuck out like a sore thumb and we could just say goodbye.
Right.
With 150 employees, I'm going to tell you that at any given moment, 10% of my team is probably not into what we're doing. And it's my job as the CEO to figure out who that is and either try to work one-on-one with them, which, I will, or move on. And, you probably know running your business, it's never easy to say goodbye to people, but I've learned if we're trying to keep them in our culture and it's not a good fit, if we let them go and they can find the culture that's better for them, it's better for both of us. But as far as a barometer, man, honestly, it's just a matter of participation. Because we have our Zoom calls every Monday, because we have our 3-hour trainings every month, because I'm on a plane sitting in on meetings with everyone, I get to see, because we have our staff presenting their quote unquote self-help stuff, because we set goals at the cabin and then we have, ways to follow up and see, because, honestly, at this point, 150 employees in, stats do show us when people are in and when they're not. And when certain stats aren't hitting, then that's the clinic where I can go say, okay, I've got these 8 employees. Let me see who's in and who's not. But I hate to be stats driven. I will say, as we're growing, I'm becoming more and more reliant on my extensions, my COO, my CFO, our HR people, our trainers, and statistics. You just got to become more. You just got to learn more as you go, man.
Was it a challenge for you, like because what you do is truly a hands-on business, right? Mm-hmm. Was it challenging for you during COVID? It sounds like when you have a culture like that, it's like you guys all sort of like swayed together and said, hey, we're going to figure it out, versus they coming to you and say, Corey, what do you think we should do?
Man, I will say I have never seen so many people buy into the idea of pivot. I just thought it was so cool. So cool. The number of people in our company that were into the idea of pivot, which was the theme, obviously when COVID hit, was it's time to pivot, because, Palmercare, one of the things that made us, great in my eyes, I love being part of the community. Right. I just love it. I want us out doing health screenings. I want us out doing talks to companies. I want us part of the chamber. I was, Loudoun County is a very large county. It's the richest county in the country, which you probably know, being in Reston. Loudoun County is the richest county in the country. It's a large country. There's a lot of people. We won the Community Leadership Award. To me, that was like absolutely amazing. Like, that's how much we're involved in the community and how much I love that. And then COVID hit, and we can't be out doing health screenings. We can't be out, at networking events, none of it. So it was time to pivot. And, for us, and, from what I've read about all the companies that have really done great over the, last couple of centuries, they all came out of things like COVID bigger. And we came out of COVID bigger, much bigger. And we expanded something fierce during COVID, because while a lot of chiropractic clinics were declining, ours was growing. And, a lot of it came from a pivot of marketing. I've always had a little bit of a background in marketing. I've been to seminar after seminar after seminar just because I wanted to be in the know. My thought process has always been know every single detail about how to market and then hire someone to do it. But now you know exactly how to watch.
Outstanding.
Yeah. And so we pivoted and we went from being out in the world to digital, and our digital marketing, I would call it second to none as far as when we want to touch the community to bring new patients in. I just have to figure out how many new patients someone wants, and then I just dial it up.
You know what? Out of all of the conversations I had, you said something that was extremely profound. Because a lot of business owners feel like, they got to do everything themselves. And then you hear people say, no, delegate everything. And they think that's a hands off. But the fact that you took time to find out all of the details so that you could learn how to watch, that is like the combination of both, learning it all, but still letting other people do what they do best. Dan Sullivan has a book called Who, Not How. And I think that's a phenomenal thing. And it looks like you found all of the who's, but you're also paying attention to the hows at the same time.
Yeah.
So you learned a lot of lessons in this process, from being small to growing fast to pivoting and things like that. Like you said, you thought your head was too big in the very beginning. A lot of us, when we're entrepreneurs and we're business-minded, shucks, we're going to the mountaintop yesterday. If you had a conversation with yourself, take today's Corey and talk to the Corey who just started. what would you say to give yourself the shortcut and say, hey, or would you just say, man, you're just going to go through it and I'll be on the other side waiting for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know about a shortcut. If anything, I smacked myself and been like, it's you, like it's you right from the beginning, right? Like it's you, man, work on you, build a better you and everything will get better. That would probably be a shortcut. But, if I had any advice for me over the last, 17 or whatever years it's been, I think, man, I would have loved to have told myself to just, enjoy and go through the process and don't freaking stress so hard over everything that happens, because it's going to happen one way or the other, and you're going to come out on the other end. I think when things happen and people get so stressed, it just shuts you down, and it shuts you down in work. It shuts you down in life. It's just so stressful sometimes that you're like, how it's so much to handle. And, now knock on wood, I don't stress at those levels. I can't. I mean, there's just too many plates spinning, like things happen and, it just doesn't matter. I just roll with it now. But if I could tell myself 17 years ago, man, you're about to go through some stuff, like just let it flow. It all will make you bigger and stronger, and you'll come out smarter, and it'll be great. And don't lose sleep over it, man. Just roll.
Well, at least you kept your hair, unlike me.
Nice. Yeah, I've been watching it actually.
So tell me, man, who, you guys are a business, who's your ideal client? What's your sweet spot? What are you looking for? Is it more sports management? Is it more critical care? Who's your ideal client?
Yeah, so twofold, right? When we're talking about the clinics, right? When there's people out there looking for healthcare, we're looking for the people that are trying to take their health up to the highest level it can be and then keep it there for the rest of their life. Right? Just that simple, right? It's not just about aches and pains. Nowadays, we know better than that. We know that if our health is not where the ideal level it should be, that, like wealth management, man, you deal with people. What's the statistic? I don't even know. It's like people get to their retired age and they can't even enjoy the money that you saved for them because they're so too damn broken down. Right. So we want people to understand, start now, right? So the people that are like, I understand health is my number one priority, like get my health to the level it needs to be and keep me there for life. That's what's up. The busy execs and the moms, our avatar we built, I built it years. I don't practice anymore, but the avatar I had forever ago, I called her Giselle, which is funny with everything going on. The head of the household, the involved in the community. So yeah, as far as the clinics go, man, if you know your health is your priority and you want to keep it for the rest of your life, then that's the deal. For the business side, in the next year, we're going to be doing some pretty cool things out in the world with chiropractic clinics. So I would say if there are chiropractic clinics out there that are based on overall health, not just musculoskeletal, that are looking to take their game to the next level, we're going to be looking for those in the next year.
Oh, it sounds like we got a package coming out that people can take advantage.
It's going to be a cool new year, man. We're going to the cabin here in a few weeks, and I'll come out very clear.
So I guess outside of more clients and outside of more opportunities to help other businesses go to the next level,
yeah,
what would move the needle in your business? Is it more self-development or what?
Man, the biggest thing that helps move the needle in our business is finding and hiring great doctors. For me, that's everything. And, what we've developed over the last 60 to 90 days and being able to have doctors reaching out to us to become part of our team, that's the needle. Every needle in our business moves with great doctors. Then finding great doctors has always been tough. I'll do 30, 40 interviews to hire one.
Wow.
But now that I have some ideas that we've been playing with over these last few months, we've got a lot of applications coming in. And so it's been awesome.
Man. So, well, I guess at some point you probably won't be running the business, maybe the way that you do, but I think you'll always be involved, What do you think you'll do past this? Do you think you just go around and speak out about how people can change their life or change their business or both, or what? What's next for you after the business?
My wife and I talk about that. I love the cabin we do. I love the idea of bringing out entrepreneurs to our cabin to give them a weekend of getting clear. I love the idea of, I used to speak a lot. I slowed that down because I'm more working on this business. But getting back out to speak, I put out a book, The $4 Sandwich, to talk about my process. I'd love to put out a few more books. I think in the entrepreneurial world, man, and you probably know better than me, that we all need some support and some energy and some love. And, I'd love to give some.
Outstanding, man. I like
Yeah.
that. Like even before we started this, I said, I believe that we're here for the benefit of others. And you're living that, brother. I like that. Let's see. We've talked about a lot, man. And the people who are listening to this, they probably got some insight on how to work with their people, how to change the way that they think about where their problems are. I had to change the way that I thought about running my company. I said, I don't have problems. I would say I have challenges. And I would always say to myself, I'm up for the challenge. So it changed. It made a shift in my mind when it came to, just dealing with the day-to-day of running a company, growing your life and things like that. What last bit of advice would you want to give to those who are just listening, that I didn't even ask the question about?
I think get into a routine. I think, especially morning routines that set you up for your day are just, one of the game changers. Do you have your goals written daily that you're looking at? Do you have your affirmations so you tell the world who you are instead of just being whatever? Do you have a vision in your mind of where you're trying to go? Are you, getting your mind clear by reading or meditating? Your morning routine, to me, if you want to get up and kick the world's butt, you best not wake up and just go try to get it. You better wake up and get yourself ready.
Outstanding, man. Well, hey, I think that's an awesome way to end it. Hey, thanks so much, Corey, for joining me today. Everybody, we've been talking to Corey Mountain-Call, the CEO, the founder, the visionary. They call him the VEO of Palmercare. He's got a mind for his people, a mind for his health, and he really cares about what he does. Join us next time when we'll have another interesting executive on the Extraordinary Executives Podcast. I'm Randy Jones. I'll talk to you soon.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by Past, Guardian, or Financial Growth Partners, and opinions stated are their own. Randy is a registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, Pass, OSJ 11350, McCormick Road, Suite 202, Hunt Valley, Maryland 21031, 410-828-540. Securities products and advisory services offered by Pass, member, FINRA, SIPC, financial representatives of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. Pass is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Financial Growth Partners is the DBA name of IAPA LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary. Guardian 2022-142821, expiration 824.